Okay, we are going to try this one more time. Welcome. Sorry about the mess ups with the stream thus far. The last two attempts, I had no sound coming through. Hopefully, you guys can hear me now. If you can't, then maybe I'll have to just give up on this stream. However, or this 1 a.m. stream. However, I think we're going to be okay. And then tomorrow I'll figure out what it is about the stream that's not working. All right, let's chat about Freemasonry. Any thoughts you have on Freemasonry? Positive, negative, or neutral? I'd love to hear them. As you know, these 1 a.m. streams, I don't have any specific topics. Rather, I just wait to see who jumps on stream and who wants to talk. So, any thoughts you guys have? Anything you want to talk about? Positive, negative, or neutral? Please let me know. Let's give it a bit of time and let's see who jumps on. Linking Atlas, if you're there, sorry about the issues with the sound. Thank you for being such a support of the channel. Now, let's give it a few and let's see who joins. Might be worth me jumping in and sharing the links. Like I said, let's chat about Freemasonry. Anything your lodge is planning for Christmas. Actually, I'm going to make that the poll question. Is your Masonic lodge okay? Let's wait to see who finds us. Tomorrow today, technically, Christmas Eve, happy Christmas Eve, Merry Christmas Eve. Tomorrow, today, Christmas Eve, 1 p.m., December 24th, I will be doing a member exclusive live stream. Member exclusive live stream for YouTube members from 1 p.m. Eastern to 2 p.m. Eastern. And then from 2 to 3, I'll be doing a exclusive live stream for Patreon members. It's both a chance for me to say thank you directly to my members for supporting this channel, and it gives me an opportunity to talk with them about what they want to see on the channel, for them to nominate topics, nominate discussion points. Thank you, previously absurdly named. Merry Christmas to you as well. That's incredibly kind of you. Yes, I think as you get older, the magic does maybe dull in some ways. Certainly, you're not worried about you're not thinking about Santa Claus coming down the chimney the older you get. But at the same time, in some ways, I think it takes on a different type of magic, in that you now become responsible for creating Christmas magic for others. Could be your kids, if you have them, could be your family, could be your neighbors. When you're a kid and you're younger, everything is surrounded around you and, other people creating magic for you. Then you get older, it starts to become your responsibility to create Christmas magic for others. And that is something that I guess I get to appreciate. I believe in my own supreme being, Nigerian nightmare, which would be the rational nature of the universe for whatever it's worth. Um, Thank you, everybody, once again for being here. It is because I'm a Mason, so it must be. I am the proof of it being allowed. Like I said, the term supreme being within Freemasonry is, relatively speaking, very broadly defined. And because of that, you could even use the term liberally defined if you wanted. But because of that, what it means, amongst other things, is it allows for very much religious tolerance. If you are, let's say, an avowed atheist, there's always the liberal order of Freemasonry as well. I don't think it's a workaround. I think it just comes from the nature of, it's been historically the case that Freemasonry has always been tolerant of different religious beliefs, and that would even include beliefs that might be defined more as spiritual than religious. But Freemasonry is not going to judge the God with which you, or the supreme being as you understand it. Thus, as per the Anderson Constitutions of 1723, thus allowing men who would otherwise be at a perpetual distance to come together in brotherhood. Interesting enough, 3 votes. Is your Masonic Lodge doing anything for the is your Masonic Lodge or body planning anything for the Christmas holiday season? 2 yeses, 1 no's. I mean, that's fine. You can join KFC if you so desire. I mean, I think you have to be Catholic to do so, but there's nothing wrong with Knights of Columbus. Excellent group, excellent people, excellent not Masons, excellent civic organization. And I wish you nothing but the best in your journey. There's absolutely no rule that says Knights of Columbus and Freemasons need to dislike each other. That'd be very silly. It's just, I think for some people, such as myself, for us, at least for me personally, I tend to, um, I tend to be somewhat, I guess, more suspicious of dogma or religious dogma. I tend to be much more comfortable with kind of being able to interpret the supreme being as I would like to imagine, or as I would understand it, in my humble opinion. We're just getting a bit of time. We're going to wait to see who joins. Please jump in the chat, say hello. As you can see, I'm doing this on my laptop because um, my cell phone, for whatever reason, was being a pain. So the lighting's not that great, but that's okay. We're still hanging out and chatting. No, no. Now we have to make Christmas magical for the kids or the family or the friends around us. It's kind of more fun to just be able to sleep and rely on, what you think is Santa, what is in fact your mom and dad, to make it special. KYBL Gaming. Hello, KYBL Gaming. I hope you'll hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. Let me know if you have any thoughts on Freemasonry, positive, negative, or neutral. I'd love to hear them. We're just hanging out these 1 a.m. streams. I don't have any specific topics. I just hang out and chat about whatever. So, hello, Shamari. No worries. Obviously work has to come first, but please hit the like and subscribe button if you're new and let me know how you're doing. I think um, aside from my member exclusive streams, which will take place at 1 p.m. Eastern and 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Eastern for my YouTube members and 2 p.m. Eastern for my Patreon members. I will also, and then 3 p.m. general stream. I'm also planning on going to Windsor's Bright Lights, which is down at Jackson Park, and bringing my phone with me and doing a live stream there of the lights on Christmas Eve, because they're absolutely beautiful, they're absolutely stunning, and we should celebrate them. I think we in Freemasonry have a responsibility to celebrate the communities and towns in which our lodges are located. So, but thank you, Shamari. That's very kind of you. Interesting. 5 votes. 6 votes. Is your Masonic Lodge or body planning anything for Christmas holiday season? Yes, 67%. No, 33. So it looks like 4 yeses and 2 nos. Don't forget, planning something can be as small. I shouldn't say small. It can be as simple as a Facebook or social media post, or it can be as involved as a banquet. Thank you, Turks, Texas. I always read that as Texas. £3. That is incredibly kind of you. Thank you for being here. Uh, I hope you're doing well. Thank you. Best wishes to you as well. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas if you celebrate Hanukkah. I think Hanukkah's actually finished. I think today was the eighth day. Whatever you celebrate, I wish you all the best. And thank you for that super chat. That is incredibly kind of you. Another thing, if you're interested in doing, and this is completely free, don't forget tomorrow or today, excuse me, Christmas Eve, I have two exclusive live streams, one for Patreon members and one for YouTube members. You can become a Patreon member completely free. You just go to patreon.com/square and compass. And you can sign up for Patreon for free, and then you'll have access to the exclusive stream. And whenever I do Patreon exclusive polls, like for example, the reason during my last 24-hour stream, I talked about the ancients and the moderns and the history of the dispute between the two Grand Lodges is because it was recommended to me or it was nominated by Patreon members as something they wanted to see me discuss during a previous live stream. So let's give it a bit more time. Let's wait to just see who joins. Jump in the chat, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let me know if you have any thoughts on Freemasonry, positive, negative, or neutral. I'd love to hear it. Another thing tomorrow I'm going to be doing on my personal channel is showing off Windsor's bright lights. I may actually do it even on this channel. I think we in Freemasonry should support our communities as much as possible, and that includes any special events and celebrations held in our communities. Windsor's Bright Lights is beautiful. It's a great way to celebrate Christmas. But we're just going to hang out now. We're going to wait to see who joins. Please jump in the chat, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Any thoughts, you have on Freemasonry, positive, negative, or neutral? I'd love to hear them. Once again, any questions, comments? One more time, reminder, 1 p.m. today, YouTube member exclusive live stream, and then 2 p.m. Patreon member exclusive live stream. And then 3 p.m. back to the normal public streams. Hopefully, be back on my cell phone at that point, which I prefer streaming from. For some reason, though, the sound was not working. Not sure why. I'll see if I can get that fixed for tomorrow. The exclusive live streams, though, will be on my laptop. You guys can see my cat in the background. That's one of the benefits of doing this stream on my laptop is you can see more of my place, including my cat Bandit. Don't worry, I did get Bandit a Christmas gift. I can say it on stream because she can't understand anyways. Got her some of her favorite wet food. So, I'm sure that she's going to enjoy it very much. Just waiting to see if anybody else jumps on the chat to say hello. Hello, Orin CT. Is that Orin in Connecticut? Orin in CT. Hello, I hope you're doing well. If you're new to this stream, please hit the like and subscribe button because I don't think I recognize the name Orin in Connecticut. I'd like to visit Connecticut to visit some Masonic lodges there. I've been told there are a ton of absolutely beautiful and stunning Masonic buildings there. So I'd love to check it out. Are you a Freemason, Oren? If so, I've been a Freemason for about 20 years. I joined in 2007 in Windsor, Ontario. I created Scrum Compass Promotions to promote the ways Freemasonry was and is relevant to the communities in which it's located, as well as create stories of Masonic interest. And if you're not new to the stream, forgive me. I've had a lot of people joining us. And as a consequence of that, I don't always remember some of the people from the past. But it's wonderful to have you here either way. And I hope you're having an excellent Christmas. And if you are part of a Masonic Lodge, I hope that your Masonic Lodge is having an excellent Christmas as well. Oh, so you've been in it for a little bit longer than me then. Um, 21, I see, I can't do math. So about 27 years. Um, Thank you, Linking Atlas. So you got me beat by about 6 years. Um, I'm assuming you were initiated, passed, and raised in Connecticut, or did you move there after the fact? Thank you, Ollie. I agree. Freemasonry is an extraordinary thing. However, let me rephrase that. I actually don't think Freemasonry is extraordinary. What I think is extraordinary is the relationship the Mason has with Masonry. The example I always use, I've used this a million times, it's like music. My favorite song in the world is Simple Man by Leonard Skinner. It's a song I love more than any other song. My second favorite song is Prodigal by Blacktop Mojo. And I always mention that song because I think people need to check it out because they're not a well known band. Anyways, there's nothing special about the song Simple Man, right? Like it it, it's a competent song. It's put together well. The musicians are talented, but there's a million songs put together by a million talented musicians. At the end of the day, it's melody, it's music, it's notes. It's not a special song. It's special to me, and that reflects myself. It reflects my personality, my traits. It probably reflects what was happening in my life when I heard the song and the mood I was in, right? That's what makes it special. Freemasonry is the same way. I've known a million people who, and I'm sure Oren has been the same thing. I've seen a million people join Freemasonry, decide it's not for them, and not show up in future. I've seen a million people join Freemasonry, think it's just okay. I've seen a million people not understand the appeal of Freemasonry at all. And that's no different than some people love the song Simple Man, some people hate the song Simple Man, right? Freemasonry is extraordinary to me, but that's something about myself, my personality. There's something about me that responds to Freemasonry in a positive way. Not everybody has that same response, and that's perfectly okay. But the beautiful thing about YouTube and the beautiful thing about social media is I can come on stream and I can talk about why I find it extraordinary, what I love about it, and how I respond to it. And maybe in doing so, I can ignite the passion that other Masons have for it, or reignite the passion, or get other people interested, or just talk about it and maybe reignite my own passion for Freemasonry in a certain extent. Oren, I don't know if that made any sense to you. Maybe you have a different view, but that's how I view it. Um, Bob G9V. Sorry, Bob. I don't know who our founders are. My assumption, Bob, is you're referencing the founders from America, which is not the case. About 13 of the 36 declaration signers and between 9 and 11 of the founding fathers were Freemasons in the United States. So less than half, less than 33%. Um, so Bob, you've been watching way too many videos online, conspiracy theories. Not all were. Again, less than half, less than a third, to be honest. That's not to say that the third, the 13 signers and the 9 founding fathers, not to say that Freemasonry did not in some ways encourage or influence the way they viewed government and maybe the suggestions and the way that they, helped shape and found the country. But it was one factor in many factors. Um, what is this? I was suggested, never heard of it. Legend. Well, then I'm going to say thank you to the YouTube algorithm for suggesting it. I hope you'll hit the like and subscribe button. Yes, Freemasonry is a civic group or a social group which dates back over 300 years and which evolved from stone masonry guilds. Think of it as a club or a group, just a very old club and group and a very historical club and group, which does, amongst other things, charitable activities. It is not a charity, but it does engage in charity and benevolence, both formally and informally. George Washington was a Mason, as was Paul Revere, Ben Franklin, John Hancock. Those are always the ones I remember off the top of my head. Um, Andrew Jackson, not probably not Bob. Actually, that is more than likely a myth. There's no it's the evidence as to whether Thomas Jefferson was or was not a Freemason is pretty sketchy. I personally don't think he was. I mean, I guess I'm not so much pro or anti Mason as I'm just a Mason. And I guess I'm pro Mason. I'm pro Mason for me. I don't suggest that everybody will love it the way I love it or everybody will want to be one. But I am pro Mason in that I love it very much and I love talking about it. So, for whatever it's worth, please take a moment if you're new to the stream to hit the like and subscribe button. Consider a super chat, consider becoming a Patreon member, all that good jazz. We have made it to over 3,000 subscribers, which is crazy. Over 3,100. Well, so Freemasonry legend evolved from bricklaying. So in the 15th and 16th century, you had stonemasons and stone Masonic guilds, which were stonemasons. They did bricklaying, they did things like that. They were craftsmen, they were tradesmen. But eventually, speculative masons, such as me, asked to join not to learn how to build things out of stone or work with stone, but rather for the social aspect and the social safety net, as well as just being part of something bigger than themselves. They want to be part of the club. And eventually there was a split or you had your speculative masons who were there for the social aspect and the club aspect, and you had the stonemasons who continued the craft. Yeah, I mean, Freemasons, it depends on where you're at, Bob. I've been, because in some jurisdictions, like here in Ontario, if you are a Mason, there's a dress code. And depending on your rank within Freemasonry or how long you've been a Mason or if you're a worshipful master, there's an expectation that you may wear a tuxedo, that you may wear a fancier, suit. But there are some jurisdictions in the States, like in, Alabama, where there's really no dress code. I've seen Masons, show up to lodge in coveralls. It just depends on where they are at. But yeah, certainly in Britain and in many parts of Canada, there's a dress code, and sometimes it can get pretty fancy. No, this is not the place for bricklaying apprenticeships. This is the place for Freemasonry, the social club or the social group. Not that I don't have, just for the record, incredible amount and a great deal of respect for bricklaying masons, especially as someone who I cannot build anything to save my life. So anybody who is any type of craftsman, I have nothing but respect for. You are welcome. Thank you for being here, legend. Like I said, keep checking out the stream. I tend to do streams at 1 p.m. Eastern and 1 a.m. Eastern, as well as sometimes I will do special event streams, membership exclusive streams, all that good jazz. You are welcome. Welcome, Albert, in San Antonio. Never been to San Antonio, but I'd love to go there. I love Texas. It's an incredible state, very cool people, a lot of great Masons there. It's a place, like it's a city I'd like to visit. My visits to Texas have thus far always been either in the Dallas Fort Worth area or in Gonzales, Texas. Which, don't get me wrong, Gonzales, Texas was incredible, as was Dallas Fort Worth, but I'd love to get to a few more spots. Albert, I think you're new to the stream. Please hit like, please hit subscribe. Let me know how you're doing and if there's anything that you want to talk about when it comes to Freemasonry. This is my stream wasn't working. It was being a pain in the butt. My phone wasn't. The sound wasn't coming through. Hopefully, I get it fixed by tomorrow. Otherwise, I'll have to stick to this. I know the laptop tends not to get the same views as my phone. However, as vertical streaming. However, I'm sure I'll get it fixed in the meantime. No, well, kind of. So obviously, the Great Pyramids are maybe the most famous example of stone masonry in the world, certainly in antiquity. So, I mean, by definition, the Great Pyramids were an example of stone masonry, and a very important example of stone masonry. Freemasonry did not, exist until the pyramids date to what, 3000 BC. Freemasonry first came about in 1717, between 1634 and 1717. Let's say 1650. So there's about 4,000 years between the building of the pyramids in Egypt and Freemasonry, as we understand it today. Now, the pyramids in Egypt in general were incredibly popular amongst men in the 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th centuries. It was and 19th centuries as well. It was the age of people from Britain and Europe traveling to Egypt, going on, archaeological digs. It was the time of the gentleman explorer who would travel to Egypt and borrow, steal, abscond, pick your term, with artifacts from Egypt, put them in the British Museum. So because the ancient Egypt was so popular at the time amongst so many men, including Masons, they started to incorporate a great deal of Egyptian symbolism, including pyramids, into Freemasonry, either into the ritual or into the Masonic buildings. Many Masonic buildings include an Egyptian room or include Egyptian symbolism or hieroglyphs. It's not that Freemasonry existed since ancient Egypt, but rather the Freemasons that were developing Masonic ceremony and ritual, and buildings for that matter, loved ancient Egypt, found it fascinating, and incorporated Egyptian mysticism and Egyptian symbols into Freemasonry. So there you go. Lenny Sean, I'm boring, yeah, but I'm handsome. I can't be handsome and exciting. It would be too much for people. So yeah, so the pyramids were around 5,000 years old. Freemasonry, again, as we understand it, popped up in 1634, let's say, with the first speculative Masons. The point is, it's not as though Freemasonry existed in ancient Egypt, but rather Freemasons, when developing ritual and ceremony and symbolism to attach to the craft, because of a love of ancient Egypt, a lot of that stuff got incorporated. A lot of Egyptian symbolism and ideas got incorporated into Freemasonry. Although it also makes a lot of sense because, again, Freemasonry evolved from stonemasonry. And what is, if not one of the, perhaps the most famous example of stone masonry, I would suggest the pyramids are up there. What religion are you guys? Freemasonry is not a religion, legend. So Freemasonry welcomes men of all different religious backgrounds and faiths. We have Muslim Freemasons, Christian, Jewish, and when I say Christian, both Catholic, Protestant, non-denominational, Hindu, Sikh, indigenous, spiritual like myself, etc., etc. But Freemasonry is not a religion. Don't forget, if you're new to the stream, please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. I am honored to be over 3,000 subscribers and over 10,000 lifetime watch hours. And I do believe I will get very soon over 4,000 hours of public watch in the last 12 months, which is necessary to get ad revenues. So there you go. Welcome. If you're just joining us, thank you. Lenny, I don't drink. Well, then, Lenny, you're doing better than me. Um, you are doing much better than me. So, congratulations. Everybody watching this, all six of you. I know it doesn't seem that many to you, but it seems like a lot to me. Go over to see Lenny's page, help him out, get him to 251K views. Legend, I really like the way you said that question. What is your purpose of being a Freemason? Because everybody has a different purpose as why they become a Freemason. And that's something that I think we sometimes forget, even within Freemasonry. At its core, the purpose of being a Freemason is the same for everybody, I believe, which is the desire to belong to something. We as humans want to be part of a group. We want to be part of clubs. It's in our nature. It's in our nature since we were kids and, started our clubhouse. But beyond that, we all have our personal reasons, right? For me, part of it is it makes me feel closer to my family, especially my father, who passed away before I was born. Or sorry, my grandfather, excuse me, who passed away before I was born. But also, I believe that it allows me to try to build a better world through the application of brotherly love, relief, and truth, which is something I care about as well. So that's my purpose of being a Mason. But everybody has different reasons and different purposes behind joining. So no two Masons will have the same purpose. And that's one of the beautiful things. Freemasonry is about a shared experience with personal interpretation. Riggs, it's going well. Thank you for being here. Just hanging out. My phone was being a pain, so I had to come onto this stream instead. But thank you for being here. Riggs, how are you doing? Merry Christmas Eve. I hope everybody watching this is having a great Christmas Eve. If you're like me and it's 1:45 in the morning for you, I hope that you are getting some sleep as well. Yeah, I try to pop in every day, doing well, busy time. It is absolutely a very busy time. Being a Freemason is not about money. No, being a Freemason is not about money. Anybody who tells you that if you become a Freemason, you'll get rich or famous, they are lying to you. Well, at best, they're mistaken. At worst, they're trying to scam you. Freemasonry ultimately is not about money. In some ways, this stream is about money because I'm trying to turn my passion for Freemasonry into a profession by creating content about it. But that's not what Freemasonry is about. Well, then, legend, whatever you celebrate, I hope I hope that you're having a good holiday season. If you celebrate Hanukkah, happy Hanukkah. If you celebrate Kwanzaa, happy Kwanzaa. If you celebrate nothing, then I just hope that you are enjoying this winter season and keeping yourself warm and enjoying your time, however you choose to do so. We are going to be ending this stream soon. These 1 a.m. streams, I tend to go from 1 a.m. to about 2 a.m. So I don't do them for very long, but I do like to jump on and just get questions from people and hang out. It's kind of fun. That's a good way to do it, Riggs. There's nothing wrong with that. I think the key is putting forth love of your family. That sounds like a really good thing, and I'm sure you do that, and good for you. I think intrigued is a good thing to be. I think we in life need to be a little bit more curious about people's beliefs and a little less judgmental. So good for you. I think it's the best approach to take. Cool. I mean, first time it could be. I mean, you might have met Freemasons in the past and they just didn't advertise that they were Freemasons, which is possible. Or they may, this may be because unfortunately the number of Freemasons that exist is dropping pretty rapidly in North America. So it is possible that you've never met one before or never spoken to one before, in which case, I'm glad you found my channel. I'm glad you're talking to me. And thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. I hope I've been able to answer your questions well. Um, and I hope that everything I've said has made sense for you or to you thus far. Like I said, I do these streams usually every Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. and 1 a.m. And then on top of that, I post other content on social media, particularly Instagram, Facebook. I also, um, have written content. I have some audio content. Heaven sent, my family are Masons and Shriners. I mean, that's pretty impressive. I not sure if that's possible. I mean, the earliest speculative Freemasons are dated to 1634 in Scotland. Having said that, I mean, there are some people who trace the speculative Masonic family lineage pretty far back. Thank you, Heaven Sent, for being here. I hope you're doing well. I hope you hit the like and subscribe button. And the shrine, I forget when the shrine first developed, but it sounds like you have an awesome family connection to Freemasonry, which is wonderful. Well, then I hope you'll check out more of my live streams, Legend. The best thing to do to find them is to hit the like button, subscribe button, and then hit the notification bell. So whenever I am doing a live stream, you get a notification, or whenever I post a new video, you get a new notification also. Um, Most of my audience, I discovered, is actually not. Let me double check. I had it here somewhere. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, 6.3% of my subscribers turned on all notifications for my channel. 3.1% turned on all notifications for my channel and enabled YouTube notifications. So if you're watching this and you're one of the about 90 to 95% who didn't do that, what are you doing with your life? Turn on the notifications. You are not cursed, heaven sent. At least I don't believe you're cursed. I've been a Freemason for 20 years, as is my father, as were my grandfathers, as I believe is my great grandfather. I don't no indication that I've been cursed. In fact, my life is pretty great, and I consider myself very lucky. I'm not suggesting that Freemasonry is the reason my life is great, nor am I suggesting, there's a lot of reasons why my life is great. Freemasonry is one part of my life, but there are many things that make it great. Um, what is a Shriner? A Shriner is a so a Shriner is part of Freemasonry. It's somebody who belongs to the Shrine, which is a body within Freemasonry. Um, that primarily focuses on charitable activities like the Shriners Children's Hospitals, as well as kind of fellowship dinner. It's really in some ways, the charitable and the party aspect of being a Freemason. Those little dudes, or those dudes who ride around the little cars with the hats, they're Shriners. They're part of being a Freemason. They're part of Freemasonry and a very valuable part of the craft. Um, my first name is Cameron. My first name is Cameron. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, don't mind. My name is Cameron Adamson. So, um, it's an awesome hat. What are you talking about? The fez is awesome. Shrine is not there's so heaven sent. When you talk about Freemasonry, one of the biggest mistakes that people make is this idea that there's higher ups and higher ranks. That's really an obsession for non-Masons more so than Masons. The highest degree in Freemasonry is the third degree. The highest rank, if you want to look at it that way, is worshipful master. A worshipful master who is a third degree is actually could be considered a higher rank than a Shriner. Ranks don't really exist in Freemasonry in the way a lot of people like to think. Um, the fez is an awesome hat. I don't know why you would knock the fez. What's also interesting is watch time from subscribers. 55.6% of it came from people who are not subscribed. 44% came from subscribed. So I get more people watching who are not subscribed than subscribed, or at least spending more hours watching. In terms of where people find me, 83% on a mobile phone, 7% on a computer, 6% on a TV, and 2% on a tablet. Half of my viewers come from the United States, 10% from the United Kingdom, 8% from Canada, 3% from India, and 2% from Australia, which is interesting as well. It is actually legend. It is influenced by um, Islam, particularly Morocco. Both the hat itself and the color red, which is influenced by a certain type of berry, which is red. It's red, the berry produces a red dye, which is found in Morocco. So whenever people always say that Freemasonry is, influenced by one particular faith or another, my point is always Freemasonry is influenced by multiple different faiths, as well as um, guilds, Egyptian mysticism, Stoic philosophy, architecture. Freemasonry is influenced by a lot of different things, and that's one of I think the greatest strengths within it is different, the variety of different influences. No, legend. Don't think about it in terms of being above. That's not how it works. The Shriners are an independent body. They're a different. They're a group that exists within Freemasonry, but they're not above Freemasonry or above all. There is no group within Freemasonry that is above any other group. That's not really how it works. I mean, Freemasonry is more than symbolism, but symbolism is a part of Freemasonry, right? The symbolism and the shared symbolism is, I mean, but that's true for every organization, right? Whatever group you're a part of, you need some type of shared symbolism in order to identify yourself as a Mason. Like when I travel around the world, and I've been lucky enough to travel around the world, if there was no shared symbolism between Freemasons, I would not be able to identify other Masons in the Philippines, in Brazil, wherever it might be. That's the beautiful thing about the shared symbolism is it allows us to identify one another. The idea of growth as character, I mean, certainly the symbolism within Freemasonry conveys metaphorical or moral ideas around one's character and building oneself. As a stonemason will build a temple, like as a stonemason will physically build a temple or a wall or a house or a structure, we within Freemasonry metaphorically use these tools to build ourselves into hopefully better people, or at least better Masons. At least that would be my humble opinion on it. And by the way, don't forget, I just mentioned it. Please take a moment, guys. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Help a brother out. The channel is growing, and it's been wonderful to see it growing. But it's one subscriber at a time. It's one watch hour at a time, one watch minute at a time. It's no different than stonemasonry. You build a wall, you build a home, you build a castle, brick by brick. You build a YouTube channel, subscriber by subscriber, watch hour by watch hour. I am from Canada, born and raised in Winnipeg, Manitoba, currently live in Windsor, Ontario. And I love it. Canada is the greatest country in the world. Now, I always say Canada is the greatest country in the world, in part because we have the greatest neighbors in the world, which I believe that we do, but that's a whole other can of tuna. Yes, Windsor, Ontario. I am as far south as you can be in Ontario and still be in Ontario. Well, there's no single purpose legend. There are a variety of purposes. Again, it depends on the individual Mason. So for me, one of the purposes is to feel closer to my family. Another purpose is I want to make the world a better place. And I believe by joining Freemasonry, I am put in a privileged position to do so. I can, help brothers and friends. I can encourage my lodge to take part in charitable activities. I can be there for my brothers if they're feeling down. I can visit them in the hospital. Others join because Freemasonry, for example, is very popular amongst, at least for a time, it was very popular amongst new immigrants or new residents in a country because it was a way for them to make friends or a way for them to meet people they would not meet otherwise. Some join because they are looking to get more self-confidence. They want to become better at public speaking. They want to become better at memorization, running meetings. And by joining Freemasonry, they get a chance to exercise those skills. Some join to be closer to family. There are a million reasons why someone can join Freemasonry and why someone remains active within Freemasonry, but it's a personal decision. At the end of the day, though, the purpose to be a Freemason is because you like it. It's like, what is the purpose of listening to music? Because you like the music you're listening to. It's a way, it's almost, you want to think about it as a way to decorate time. Like, what is the purpose of art? It's a way to decorate space. What is the purpose of going to a Masonic meeting? It's a way to decorate the time um, that you have in your life. I don't know who Jasper Jones is, Oren, but I'm sure it's a wonderful fella. Heaven sent, I mean, not every town, many towns have Masonic lodges. I wish more did, to be honest. It's interesting because I love Orion. It's my favorite constellation. I guess what I'd say, legend, is you're kind of asking what the purpose of Freemasonry is, and unfortunately, I can't give you an answer to that because there is no single purpose to Freemasonry other than the purpose to meet and, be part of something bigger than oneself. Beyond that, you know, it's not Freemasonry is not like a knitting club in that it wasn't started with a specific purpose in mind. It wasn't started to, promote knitting. It wasn't started to promote a particular activity. It was started to promote brotherly love, however, in whatever forms that may take. It's kind of like a very structured guys' night out. What I would suggest, if you want to learn more about Freemasonry legend and what it is, read Freemasonry for Dummies by Freemasonry for Dummies by Chris Hodap. Chris Hodap is a great author, and it's a great introduction into what Freemasonry is and what Freemasonry isn't. Um, and maybe you'll be less confused. Maybe it'll be easier, than I can explain it to you. Went with captain, wouldn't let him join. I don't know what that means. I mean, there's different reasons why a Masonic lodge may, the term is blackball, right? Otherwise known as you say yes or no to somebody joining. So I can't really speak to what happened. What I would say though is Freemasonry is not for everybody, and that's okay. Not everybody's going to enjoy it. Not everybody's going to find enjoyment from it. Um, just because someone is not able to join a lodge or decides not to join a lodge, that's perfectly okay. They can find something else to give their, to decorate the time of their life or how they pass the time. Oren, is your Masonic Lodge doing anything for the holiday season out of curiosity? Is your Masonic Lodge doing anything for Christmas, Christmas party, Christmas event, Christmas dinner? And nothing's wrong with that either. Saying no, right? Nothing wrong with not joining. I mean, Freemasons shouldn't really be asking you to join. You should be approaching them, but that's for a whole other thing. Well, I mean, it's kind of both, Legend. If you want to be a Freemason, there is an application that you'd have to fill out. Every lodge will have it, but you start by just showing up, really. Or, I mean, you can send them an email, you can give them a call. I mean, there's a million ways to make the first contact, but the point is, like within Freemasonry, what they always say is to be one, ask one. You need to take that first step of approaching the lodge. So you turn up to their building, especially if the building's closed and it's not, you know, inconvenient. I would say the best approach is show up at the building, knock on the door, and if somebody's there and they have the time, talk to them, ask them questions, ask them about joining and how to join. They may at that point decide to give you an application to fill out, or they may tell you to come back, at another date when they're having a banquet or a dinner or refreshments, may go for coffee and just get to know you better, right? But if you are going to show up at a building and express an interest in being a Freemason, what I would recommend is bring a letter with you that has your contact information, your name, phone number, because you may go there and there may not be anybody present, or there may be somebody present, but they may be too busy with who knows what they've got going on, a meeting, a degree, maybe they've got they're doing maintenance on the building, whatever it is, they may be present but not have the time in that moment to talk to you. By having a letter with your contact information on it, what that means is you haven't wasted the trip. You've at least ensured that you've left them with your information. They can contact you at whatever date and time is most convenient for them. And like I said, don't rush the application process. Don't automatically ask for an application form right away. Talk to them about what Freemasonry is, the questions you have, and maybe tour the building, etc. That seems like a weird bath, Jason, but you do you. You do you. I've never taken a oatmeal, Vaseline, and icy hot bath. It seems like a terrible idea. I mean, Legend, I would say you shouldn't avoid them, but Heaven may have a different view. He's welcome to his own opinions as well. What I would say, though, keep in mind, Heaven may not have been dealing with actual Masons. He may be dealing with clandestine lodges, which means lodges that are pretending to be Masonic. It'd be like me putting a sign on my window saying, Cameron's Masonic Lodge. Like, that's not how it works. They have to be warranted. You have to be recognized. What I would say is, one thing you want to do is, if you do go to a Masonic Lodge and knock on the door, at some point you should ask them which Grand Lodge they are affiliated with. It is not a cult, Jason. It is not a cult for many reasons, but the main reason is cults require complete separation between the membership and their family, their work, their friends, whatever it is. Within Freemasonry, you're actually encouraged to put your work and your family ahead of Freemasonry, which isn't always, I think, the best approach, but it does, one of the ways it keeps us from becoming a cult. So there you go. Heaven sent, pray about it. That's always good advice. That's always good advice. Thank you, the Game Boy. Please hit like and subscribe. And to everybody watching this, please take a moment, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Thank you all for all of the support. 2025, December 2025, especially, has been an excellent, excellent stream, just month for the channel altogether. My watch time is up, my views are up, my subscribers are up. I mean, the problem is I don't know what you Googled, right? Like, Google is going to show you different things depending on your search history. I don't know what spooky clothes are to which you're referring. If you're referring to aprons, which we wear them in honor of our stonemason ancestors or forefathers. So we evolved from stonemason guilds. Stonemasons wore, and not just stonemasons, almost every type of craftsman, carpenters, um, I mean, carpenters, masons, haberdashers, um, engineers, when they were building things, they would wear aprons to protect their clothing from spot, from stain. So we adopted them and wear them as almost like a uniform. Uniformity is important within an organization. It shows organization, it encourages discipline, it demonstrates a level of professionalism. If everybody's just wearing whatever they want and there's no commonality, it's one way that a group organization can lose cohesion. I mean, again, I've told this story before about Orion. I put it on social media about 15 years ago, and it's insane to me that it's been 15 years, by the way. I spent 3 weeks in a town called Glenview, Illinois, which I love, by the way. It's probably the time when I fell in love with that town, and I've loved it ever since. I was staying at this Motel 6, but then what I would do is during the day, I would spend the day at the Glenview Public Library, reading by the fire. And then in the evenings, I would travel to Chicago, Illinois, and take part in open mic nights, comedy clubs, basically anywhere that had a stage and a microphone. I would perform comedy in Chicago. That was always in the evening. So then I would take the 1:20 train back from Chicago to Glenview. It was the Metra. It would arrive. Sorry, I would take the 12:40 train back. I'd get in at 1:20 and I'd wheel from the Metra train station at 1:20 in the morning back to my hotel, the Motel 6. And the reason I bring all this up is because what I remember most about those late night wheels was how cold and crisp and clear the nights were. And to my left, as I was wheeling down Glenview Avenue, I would see Orion in the sky. pretty much every night. I don't recall in any of those 3 weeks it being particularly overcast, which meant I got to see Orion every night. And it got to this point where I started to view Orion as kind of like a friend or a companion. I legitimately still to this day think of Orion as like a friend of mine or a companion whenever I see it in the sky, but especially when I see it in Glenview, Illinois, because I've continued to visit there quite frequently. So I love Orion. I kind of consider him a traveling companion, a friend, a protector. So I love Orion. So it's cool to see Orion being mentioned in the chat. In fact, one thing I remember is just recently I was in Columbia at the Grand Lodge. Their lodge building had this celestial canopy of all the different stars painted on its ceiling, including Orion. So it was kind of like my good friend and brother in some ways, and traveling companion had followed me into the lodge, which was awesome. So yeah, I love Orion, my favorite constellation. And if you want to learn more, follow me on social media where I post all this stuff. I do not know when they are supposed to align, um, but I will look that up. I might do a podcast about that. That'd be really, really cool. All right, we're going to give this another couple minutes because it is 2:14 in the morning. So I'm going to be ending this stream shortly. Having said that, thank you to everybody who has jumped in the chat so far. And tomorrow, 2 member exclusive live streams, followed by a public live stream, followed by I'll try to live stream tomorrow night as well, um, from Windsor's Bright Lights. All right, let's call this stream for now Happy or Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas Eve. If you celebrate, if you don't, happy holidays. Thank you all for being here. I'll talk to you all soon. See you tomorrow.